Hi there, I'm Jody Bentley, actor, producer, speaker, and teacher. And as an actor, I play women who are ambitious, determined, myopic, and obsessed to the extreme. As a producer, I tell stories that raise consciousness. Hello, TJ. And as a speaker and teacher, I talk a lot about bravery in business. And to me, it's the business of acting, marketing, crowdfunding, being an entrepreneur, being an artist, the business of life, right? We are all in business. And bravery, to me, is the obsessed desire to authentically be who you are and not compromise your vision for your career and your life. So thank you, TJ and Eddie, for joining today. I invite you to be brave with me because bravery is indeed a choice. And I am choosing to jump on this Facebook Live, even though I get to be at a meeting in 34 minutes, because I haven't done this for a while because I been busy, yes, getting married and planning the wedding. And so the past 3 to 4 weeks has been a little intense. So I'm super excited to be back. Hello, Lenora. Hello, Scott. Thank you for joining episode 17 of Bravery in Business. And today I want to talk about patience. Hello, Ravi. Thank you for joining. Did I pronounce that right? I trust I did. Okay, so patience. As an artist, actor, entrepreneur, I've learned to manifest patience. I always want things. I want them now. I want them done. I want it now. We planned our wedding in 6 months. We got married in 6 months. I wanted to do it now. So patience can be a bit challenging for me, though I have, as I said, learned how to do that because, and how does one do that? Well, through trust. I trust I'm on the path that I'm supposed to be on. I believe what I'm doing is the correct thing for me to be doing in the moment. Hello, Julia. You just got married too. Congrats. Yay. So that patience comes from an innate belief and trust. Because as an actor, as a producer, as an entrepreneur, as a lot of you are, sometimes we don't know where our next paycheck is coming from. I don't know about you. I have multiple streams of income. I got my audiobooks, my acting, my producing, and sometimes they're abundant and sometimes they're not. And I piece together this creative life because that's how I'm choosing to live my life. And that can be exhilarating. That can be awesome because I love it. And at times that can be super freaking frustrating. So, a lot of times in these videos I have like, do these 3 things, do this, and it'll be great. And today I think is more of a musing on patience for what occurred to me yesterday, or what happened to me yesterday, rather. I've been, feeling really good and trusting, and I have all these projects that are in the works that I just waiting for things to happen with all of them, taking as much action as I can, holding myself and others accountable. And as I said, I love that, right? That energy, that driving energy, that almost hustling energy, and that creative energy, I love. And then yesterday, I just sort of hit a point of like, okay, I've been trusting, I've been patient, I've been committed, I've been focused, I've been letting go, I've been in flow, and what do I have to show for that? And I was like, oh, life is terrible. In like an instant. Yes, hello, Essom, nice to see you. How many years patience? What do you mean, Lenora? Clarify your question. So Matt came home from work, and I'm like, I'm in a funk. I'm in a bad mood, blah. And he talked it out with me, and I just started to realize that my patience was gone. That I was frustrated, that I believe and know that I'm taking all the action that I can, yet I'm still not achieving the result in the moment that I want. That I feel like a lot of the stuff I'm doing is planting seeds for future abundance and success. So I just started feeling just frustrated and stuck. Oh, Erin, so glad you tuned in. Glad you need to hear this right now. So yeah, last night I was just super frustrated and stuck, and I'm like, well, either I want a vodka or I want some Menchie's. So we went and got some Menchie's and talked about it some more. And I don't know if there's Menchie's on the East Coast. It's just the frozen yogurt with all the toppings. Anyway, I digress. It's delicious. So I had some of that and just kept talking it out more. And oh, how many years do you have to be patient, Lenora? We get to be patient all the time. Unfortunately, that doesn't exist because perfection doesn't exist and nothing all the time exists, right? But tapping into and holding on to that patience will create ease and flow and joy in our lives, because I was definitely not in ease and flow and joy last night. I was frustrated. And I have a lot of lovely things going on in my life, and just frustrated that the certain projects that I want to go haven't gone yet. Certain financial goals that I want to hit, I haven't hit yet. And that is just frustrating, especially as an entrepreneur, because I don't, as I said, get a set paycheck every week, right? So it was just super interesting just talking it out and realizing, wow, when I get into this frustrated place and I look at all the things that I'm doing and all I see is what I'm not accomplishing in the moment, or all I see, how do I say this? All I see is what's not happening. How I immediately go into, I'm a failure. I'm a failure. I haven't done this yet. I'm a failure. I don't have the income that I want to make yet. I'm a failure. I don't have, 5 more credits on IMDb. I'm a failure. And I found it fascinating, that trickle effect, right? So my patience went away, frustration kicked in, anger at myself kicked in, and all of a sudden I'm a failure. And that sucks. So we went out last night and walked the dogs, and I was still kind of funky. And we come in through the garage, and I had washed my car yesterday. It was really dirty, so I was very grateful that I washed my car. And we walked by my car in the garage to throw away the dog poop. And I look over, and Matt was like, what is on your car? And there was this, I kid you not, it was like this big. Can you see how big this? That big, a praying mantis was on the back of my car. So I kind of like freaked out and backed away, and Matt got in it, tried to take a picture of it, and its little head was like turning and looking at us. And I was like, what the hell? And then all of a sudden I was like overcome with this emotion. And I was like, what does a praying mantis mean? And Matt's like, what do you mean? What does a praying mantis mean? I'm like, what does it symbolize? What does it symbolize? Anyway, we come in the house. Of course, I looked that up. A praying mantis is the paramount spiritual symbol of stillness and patience. The praying mantis symbol chooses to present itself to individuals when they have allowed their busy schedules to overrun their intuition, silencing their internal voice and throwing their equilibrium out of balance. It represents temperance, quietness, awareness, calmness, mindfulness, and innovation. So I come in and I read this, and then I'm like, got a little emotional, teared up a little bit. And you know, whether you believe in God, karma, universe, angels, devils, whatever, I definitely believe in a universal energy, and that the universe presents things to you, and it's up to us to have that awareness to see it. So just seeing that last night was like, okay, patience, awareness of the situation, mindfulness of what is going on, not getting caught up in the frustration and the busyness that can occur, right? We all get caught up in the busy work of things. And just staying calm and patient. And there was something in there that I read as well about staying the course. That praying mantis, I mean, granted, it's trying to kill things, but it's calm and it stays the course and it's patient before it makes its move. So just notice when you get frustrated about things. Oh, hello, Michael. How are you? Hello, Vivian and Kenny and Mimi. Hello, and Carrie. Hello. So So just notice when you get frustrated and that, oh, and then you're like, well, I'm just going to do things. I'm just going to get busy. I'm just going to do it. And how that actually isn't servicing you at all. That when that frustration kicks in, how can we take that step back, find that internal patience, calmness, connection, awareness, and tap back into that before moving forward. I want to read Aaron's thing here. Aaron says, you started to get into a funk about this last night on the very same subject. We were like soul mates in the universe. I pulled myself out of it with a couple of thoughts. My life is much bigger than this moment. Oh, totally, right? I mean, that can be at any moment of any day when we're feeling in a funk. You can say that. My life is much bigger than this moment. It is just a tiny little microcosm of your own life and the world, right? 2, he says, I get to choose my thoughts. Oh, completely. I think I have some video on that somewhere about choosing. We get to choose everything. I love that you said this, Aaron. You get to choose joy. You get to choose patience. You get to choose love. You get to choose to stay in love. You get to choose every emotion that you feel. You get to choose it. You are in control of that. So again, when that frustration arises, I love that you said that. Am I going to choose to be frustrated in this moment? And sometimes I will say you get to feel it. I do have a video on emotions as well that I do believe you get to feel an emotion fully to release it. But it's not about wallowing in it. It's about feeling it and choosing to feel something else. And what is Aaron's last thought? I reoriented myself, trust that things will work out on the God or the universal timing. Yeah, it all comes back to trust. All comes back to patience. Because in order to trust, you must have patience. Or have patience, you gotta trust. So I love that. And I feel like that this is such a universal thing that we all feel. We go through periods of ease and flow and feeling successful and abundant, and then one thing can happen and it's like, oh no, everything's terrible. I'm a failure. Life is horrible. And then we have belief and faith and trust and choose joy again, and then we can move forward. Yeah, I just really wanted to share this story with you about this freaking praying mantis on my car. Oh, hello, Michael. What did you say? Tom and I are watching this here at lunch. Tom says hi and congratulations. Thank you, Tom. Glad you're watching at lunch. Hello, Marcus and Trisha. Yes, Vivian, when you get frustrated, stay calm. Totally. And that's the challenging part, right? Because we get frustrated. We're like, well, I know I get to be calm now. But it's so hard to get calm when you're in that state of frustration. That's why I also said to feel it, understand it, make a different choice, and move forward. And just remember when the frustration happens to tap back into patience. Because you are an artist, you are an entrepreneur, you are a business owner, you've chosen a path that most people don't go down, right? We've chosen to be expressive creatively to maybe sacrifice some stability, perhaps, and maybe some of you don't feel that at all. But it's important to remind yourself to come back to that trust and that patience. Life is about choices. Oh my God, there's so many comments. I didn't keep up with all of them. Hello, Vince. Hello, Rihanna. Blah. What kind of question should you ask yourself to get yourself back on track? Hey, Jimmy. Good question. I think for me last night, it wasn't so much a question. It was recognizing that my frustration was an emotion that I created because I was angry at myself, I felt defeated, or I felt like a failure, which all of those things are stories and constructs that I made up in the moment, because none of that is true. None of that is true. But our minds take over and tell us these things. So I think perhaps the question in the moment could be, okay, yes, I'm frustrated, I'm feeling this thing, and what have I accomplished? What are my successes? Where am I succeeding? And what is bringing me joy? And I do feel it's really going deeper on the frustration. Well, I'm frustrated because this project isn't happening. Okay, but if this project doesn't happen, then what? Well, then I don't have that job. Okay, and then what? Well, then I don't get that paycheck. Well, and then what? And then if I don't get the paycheck, then I feel like a failure. So I think it's just digging deeper. I think it's going through the layers to see what that ultimate limiting belief is at the base of it. Does that make sense? Because we all have limiting beliefs that sort of are our driving forces that we get to manage. We all have them. They're all different for everybody. But a lot of the frustration usually comes from a limiting belief, but manifests in a different way. So I think, Jimmy, I would focus on what is working and then go deeper into really what the root cause of that frustration is. And having that awareness then allows you to make a choice, exactly like Aaron said, to choose. And Aaron, I want to go back and see what you had said about that. You said, with a couple of thoughts. Oh, yes. So Aaron said, Jimmy, that he just looks at the picture of what's happening and says, well, my life is bigger than this. My life is bigger than this. And breathe and trust and get back to it. So this is my musing on patience today. So as frustration arises, because we know it's gonna, examine it. Understand it, become aware of it, choose something different and let it go. And be aware and look for the praying mantises in the world to give you symbols and motivation that you're on the right track. Aaron, what did you say? Been helpful to remember why I chose this path of our entrepreneurship. Oh, that's a big one. Remembering why you were doing what you were doing. If you lose sight of that passion, of why, that is when we get bitter, jaded, frustrated, all of the above. So remembering why. SM, do you think patience brings stability in life? As a patient person is never anxious, and thus there's no room for instability. Well, that's a profound question. I'm profoundly trying to answer it. I would say yes and no, I suppose. I think patience can bring a sense of stability, but I guess it depends what your definition of stability is. Is your definition of stability an emotional stability that you're referring to? Then I think patience can bring an emotional stability. But I don't think I'd ever use the word never, because no one is never anxious. No one is never happy. No one is never sad, right? So those are all just generalizations I feel that don't exist. So even if you become a master of patience, some of that stuff is still going to creep in. That's just life. It's how you choose to manage it and what you choose to do when it happens. Does that make sense? All right. I really wanted to do this video before my meeting, so now I get to jump in the car and go see VP. So VP, if you're watching, I'm going to be 10 minutes late. Okay, yay. So choose patience. Stay committed, stay focused, know that we all feel frustration and we get to move through it. So thank you for joining me for Bravery in Business, episode number 17. I'll be back in a couple of days with the next one. All right, have an awesome day. Oh, and patience. If you want to get a plan in your patience, reach out to me. Let's do a 20-minute phone consult. I do career coaching, as you know. So let's get you a plan. Let's get you some systems. Let's uncover some limiting beliefs and how we can move through them. All right. Thanks for tuning in, Facebook. I will talk to you soon. Bye.